I'm gonna start something new here where I'm gonna try to share starting from scratch with a Topstep eval, how to get funded, trading only micros, which I generally don't do. So honestly, this experience alone is gonna be different for me, and I think just the patience of how long it will take me to get funded might be a thing in itself. Just because, again, depending on the market conditions, sometimes I'll scalp, sometimes I'll hold for longer moves. But that's kind of the whole purpose of why I'm starting this. So this is a fresh new eval. So let's see what happens over the course of the next few days, weeks, and hopefully within the month, I can get from eval to funded and then from funded to payout. So wanted to just kind of share that is what I'm looking to do. So the first thing here I am going to take is I am actually going to take longs here with 3 MNQs. And so I'm just going to buy it right here, just so I can kind of show you guys. And then from a stop loss perspective, usually when I trade the New York session, I'm looking for about a 30-point stop loss. And it doesn't really matter the contract size. That's generally what I'm looking for. Unless the size of my position, ends up becoming such a large portion of the trade, then I have to rethink and assess whether or not that still makes sense. But want to kind of just share my thought points on that. So 30 point is about give me a second here. Actually, 401, 30 points. So what is that? 71? Yeah, 71. So 71 would be about right here. So that'll be my stop loss. So with a 30-point stop loss, I am looking for at the very least a 1R trade minimally, which would be about up here. But what I'm going to do here is I am going to shoot for a 3R trade, which would be about 90. So from here, from the 401 spot, is it the 401 spot? Yes, it is. That'd be 91. So that's about here. Now, as I do this, though, I am going to set trims. And something I guess I should also explain here is that as I'm talking about the fact that I'm looking for 3R, I understand from a price action perspective, this might not actually make sense. Like when I look at this, it gets me worried about whether or not this is really going to work out for me. So what I'll probably do just from reading price action, I'm just going to look at it and say I'm going to take my profit here, which is about 2.5R give or take. But I'm also gonna trim for 1R for at least one contract. So 1R would be about 431. So 23, 430, oops, 41.75. So that'll be my first trim, which from a price action perspective, this could be a fairly healthy spot to take a trim as well. And then yeah, I'll kind of we'll see where this goes. We can kind of manage this. If trade looks really, really strong, I am open to moving this and maybe trimming here instead at the 2.5R mark. And then I'll kind of see if we could find a retracement. I'm just looking at my other chart up here. Let's see. Yeah, the other way that we can kind of go about this actually right now, I'm just looking at my other chart right now. What about 2, 4, 6, 6? 1, 3, 4, 6, 6. Can trim one there as well. So then I trim for 1R, I trim for 2R, and then for this one, let's just say we did want to shoot for the moon here, which I would probably not aim for more than 5, 10. So it'd be about right here. Let's go just point below. But this is what I'm looking for. So I am looking for us to hold above this area here. Call this a double bottom or an inverse head and shoulder. I'm looking for a move up. It's not the cleanest entry, I would say, but I just did want to also take this for illustrative purposes. And I do think that where my stop loss is safe enough. And if it gets invalidated, then, such as life part of the trade, right? But I am looking for this move up. And so we got to trim at 1, trim at 2, and trim at about 3R. So in total, this trade is probably going to end up being about like 1.8 to 2R if the full move takes place. So we'll see what happens here. I am going to take myself off screen and I'll probably mute myself for now because I am doing work while I'm doing this. But I'm recording this just so that you can kind of see what I essentially am looking for, and hopefully this will be a documentation of starting to trade with a 50K top step eval and working myself towards being funded and then working towards myself getting a payout. So, anyways, I'll leave it at that for now. Gonna go do my work. Just noticed that we started getting a bit of a move here, so I want to just provide a little bit of narrative. Getting the trim will be definitely nice. I think for myself, what I would like to see is happen here is I'd like to for us to reclaim above the 23,439.25 area. I'm expecting a little bit of resistance at the 23,460, but if we pull back and hold the 23,439 area for a higher low, I do believe we can get a continuation to the next spot, which is going to be the 3R spot, right? Around the 491. If I have the ability to manage it, I may extend my 3R target further. Otherwise, if I'm not at my desk to be able to manage this properly, then I will just let it do its thing and basically sell off at that 3R spot. So we'll see what happens here. But just wanted to just pop in here and provide a little bit of that narrative. So very nice. We got the 1R trim so far. So that was about a 30-point trade. Once we lock in 2R, what I'm going to do is I am going to move my stop loss a little bit further up. I don't know yet if I would go to break even per se, but I would definitely move it up probably to the 380 area, just below the last spinning top bullish doji. And then if we do make it to the 3R spot, I will then move my stop loss to break even, and we'll to see what the trade looks like and how we can play this out. Don't mind me, I'm just looking at all my screens because I'm still doing work while I'm doing this right now, so I'll try to provide my updates as I go. Perfect. Just got the alert that order was filled. Now I'm going to move this last contract up to here um, as my stop loss. I'm going to move this further up right now. Let's go for 4R. So that would be about the 120 mark up here. And if we hit the 3R spot, which is about here, I'm just marking it on my other chart. I will move my stop loss up further. And then from there on out, I will just manage this accordingly. I think shooting for the 4R is a little dicey, to be honest. So what I will likely do is if I shoot for 4R, I will move my stop loss to about 2R is what I'm thinking right now. So we'll see again how this chart kind of plays out. But I'm just kind of looking at what the structure looks like and all that. And if there was going to be a pullback, how far would it pull back? We also have only 9 minutes left to this session here. So I do want to exit before the market closes because sometimes you can get some really wild wicks after the market closes. So we shall see. Let's see what happens. We got 9 minutes left here. We got 3 minutes left until the market closes here. We're gonna get a push. This is the push that we'll need. As soon as we breach 500, honestly, I am going to move my stop loss up towards the 91 mark, which is a really tight stop loss. But with only 2 minutes now left to the market, I am not expecting too much, and I want to protect the profits. There it is. We're about to touch the 23,500. I'm going to move my stop loss up here to 23.91 soon. You know, I'm going to move it up here right now first. We got 1 minute left to the close. We're just kind of playing at this 500, which is psychological, right? Obviously to us. Okay, it's 1 o'clock. I am going to move this up right to the bottom of it. There you go. Let's see what hits first. Stop or target? Boom, target hits first. Let's go. All right. So you guys kind of saw that $413 in the bag, three MNQs. Um, for those know that have been following me, I generally trade more than micros. I don't trade more less than one mini usually. So just understand what just took place there, right? From one entry to exit, had I held one contract, that move right there was worth $1,000 to me on one mini. Now, obviously, the psychology and the managing around one mini can be very difficult. So I think that as we're gradually working towards building the confidence for that, we would then take 10 micros instead of one mini. Yes, you're gonna have to pay more fees towards your transaction, but still, that's how you build the confidence so that you're able to take on a higher size in the later future. So anyways, I hope that was, kind of cool to see. And I'm hoping that this journey with me providing the narrative and all that provides value to you all. And I do hope it does because, again, I am taking my own time and reducing the size I normally trade for the sake of education when I obviously have the ability to just take this and get the payouts that I would normally go for. So, if there's any questions or feedback or anything like that, I'm all ears. Let me know. Drop those comments as usual. I'll catch you guys later next time. See ya.